Kids loved watching the chaos unfold as contestants slipped through obstacles, got slimed, and made a mess of everything.
Seen it once, don't remember when. Think it's time to watch it again. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop the last Friday. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Forgot That podcast, the place to recollect and reminisce. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to rewatch and review a movie or TV pilot that I've seen before but don't quite remember. It could be a blockbuster, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Before we start, I had a whole different opening planned for this episode. But after the deaths that we've had this week, as a nostalgia podcast, I think I have to address them. So let's start with Malcolm Jamal Warner, best known as Theo from The Cosby Show, one of the greatest series to come out of the 80s. Yes, it's been tainted in recent history because of the actions of the namesake, but I think it's important to give credit to the rest of the cast members who are just as influential to the show. And you sit back and think about all the great memories that he was part of. And it started right from the beginning, the pilot episode. What's the most memorable part? It's when Theo's talking to his dad about being a regular person. They do the back and forth with the Monopoly money. Such a tremendous scene. One of my favorite episodes is when Theo wanted to experience the real world, and he came back home and all the furniture is gone in his room. Each of the family members plays someone that he has to deal with in the real world. And how about the 49th anniversary episode, where the family performs together, and Theo sings Nighttime is the Right Time by Ray Charles? Or when Theo was lovesick and sang the blues for his girlfriend, Justine. Or one of the funniest episodes in the series, Gordon Gartrell. When he walks in with that dreadful shirt that Denise tried to make for him, what a funny moment. And also, Malcolm Jamal Warner directed one of the best episodes, The Wretched, where Vanessa and her friends go to Baltimore to have big fun. Malcolm Jamal Warner was so influential in the enjoyment of The Cosby Show, and many of its best moments involve him as an actor, so he will be missed. Then, of course, you had Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm a big Black Sabbath or Ozzy fan, but the songs that I love by them are incredible. And not just the hits, Iron Man, Paranoid. There are some deep cuts in there that are the foundation of heavy metal. But one of my favorite gifts happened in high school when me and my friends were doing a holiday exchange. And this guy who was part of the friend group that I kinda knew but didn't really, he had me, and he gave me Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. That album, from start to finish, has so many great songs on it. I Don't Want to Change the World, Mama, I'm Coming Home, No More Tears, the title track, Sin, Hellraiser, Road to Nowhere. It is an instant classic. And I think that it's great that Ozzy Osbourne and the Osbourne clan became part of the pop culture lexicon with their reality series, which at the time was also groundbreaking. And his personality really shined through. But that also overshadowed how groundbreaking Black Sabbath and he was. And last, we have Hulk Hogan. Now, people who have listened to the podcast know that I'm a wrestling fan. I was the perfect age when the 80s wrestling boom happened. And make no mistake about it, it wouldn't have happened without Hulk Hogan. The WWE, WWF at the time, wouldn't have gone national, wouldn't have put on the pay-per-view WrestleMania if they didn't have Hulk Hogan. He had that charisma, he had the look, and despite being balding with a 70s porn mustache, people ate it up. They loved him. Even when his matches were paint by the numbers, and you knew at some point he was going to hulk up, the audience was captivated. Now, for me personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of Hogan, and this isn't revisionist history. When he was injured by earthquake on the Brother Love show, yeah, I'll admit it, I wrote a get well card for Hulk. But I was always drawn to the wrestlers who were part of the Intercontinental title division. Macho Man Randy Savage, Tito Santana, Brutus Beefcake. They were the workhorses. They appeared on every show, put on great matches, and then at the very end, Hulk Hogan would do an interview segment, tell you to say your prayers, take your vitamins, and then the show would be over. Now, in the later part of his life, Hogan found a bit of controversy, and no matter how iconic someone is, that will always be part of the conversation and part of his legacy. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'll be rewatching and reviewing Summer Rental from 1985. It was directed by Carl Reiner, who helmed comedies Oh God, The Jerk, The Man with Two Brains, and Summer School. He won 11 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Writing Achievement in Comedy for The Dick Van Dyke Show and The Sid Caesar, Imogene Coca, Carl Reiner, Howard Morris Special. That just flows off the tongue. He also won for Best Supporting Performance by an Actor on Caesar's Hour, Outstanding Program Achievement in the Field of Comedy for The Dick Van Dyke Show, and Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series for Mad About You. He also earned a Grammy Award for the album The 2,000-Year-Old Man. The screenplay was written by Jeremy Stevens, who scribed episodes of talk show parody America Tonight, sketch show Saturday Night Live, and sitcom Coach. He won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Achievement in Children's Programming for The Electric Company, and Outstanding Comedy Series of Everybody Loves Raymond. And Mark Reisman, who penned episodes of talk show Thick of the Night, and sitcoms Wings, and tween comedy Sydney to the Max. He was nominated for 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Comedy Series of Frasier. It stars John Candy as Jack Chester, in his first starring role in a feature film. His career was a testament to his versatility as both a comedic powerhouse and a heartwarming actor. Starting in the 1970s, Candy first gained attention as a member of the Canadian sketch comedy group Second City Television, where his larger-than-life characters and impeccable timing began to captivate audiences. By the mid-1980s, he was a household name, starring in hit comedies like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, and Spaceballs. His performances were marked by a blend of physical comedy and emotional depth, making him a beloved figure, not just for his humor, but for his warmth and relatability. Whether playing the goofy, bumbling father figure or a likable everyman, Candy's characters often had an underlying sincerity that made him stand out in a genre often filled by zany antics. Candy's ability to evoke both laughter and empathy was unparalleled, and his work remains iconic in American cinema. In films like Cool Runnings and The Great Outdoors, he continued to showcase his gift for blending humor with heart. While best known for his comedies, Candy also showed an impressive ability to tackle more dramatic roles. In JFK, Candy played a key part in Oliver Stone's political thriller. Sadly, Candy's promising career was cut short by his untimely death in 1994 at the age of 43, but his legacy endures. His memorable roles and the warmth he brought to every character ensures that John Candy remains one of Hollywood's most cherished comedic figures, whose influence on the genre is still felt today. Summer Rental also features Richard Crenna, Rip Torn, Karen Austin, John Larroquette, Joey Lawrence, and Kerry Green. So let's jump into it. This is what I remember. Basically, the disaster of going on vacation. The bad rental home, sunburns, crowded beaches, who needs it? Richard Crenna as Al Pellet certainly delivered a memorable performance, and I do somewhat remember the climax of the film, but no spoilers, not gonna give it away. Now I'm heading off to rewatch the movie. This is What I Forgot. The story follows Jack Chester, an overworked and stressed out air traffic controller, who decides to take a much-needed family vacation to a sleepy beach town in Florida. Upon arriving, things quickly go awry as Jack and his family struggle with the quirks of their vacation spot. The beach house is run down, the weather is unpredictable, and Jack's attempts to relax are constantly disrupted. Despite these challenges, he tries to make the best of the situation while bonding with his wife and kids. The vacation takes an unexpected turn when Jack becomes involved in a rivalry with a wealthy local yacht owner, the arrogant and competitive Al Pellet. This leads to a series of comedic misunderstandings, culminating in a sailing competition. Here's a quote without context. "She'll make you rich, or she'll feed you to the fishes. If she wants you to dance, sonny boy, you've got to follow her lead." Summer Rental is a classic example of 1980s American comedy, blending slapstick humor with family-friendly themes. While it isn't often remembered as a cinematic masterpiece, it offers valuable insights into family dynamics, personal growth, and the social structure of the 1980s. Jack Chester is the quintessential everyman figure, a middle-class character who is stressed out by the demands of the job and family. He embodies the struggles of the working-class man of the 1980s, facing burnout and trying to find balance in an increasingly fast-paced world. Throughout the movie, Jack transforms from a frustrated, stressed-out man into someone who is more in touch with his own desires and family needs. His progress, although comedic and often exaggerated, reflects a universal truth, that stepping outside of one's comfort zone is the key to personal growth. At its heart, Summer Rental is about the importance of family bonds. Jack's vacation is an attempt to reconnect with his wife and kids, who have been neglected due to his overwork. The challenges that arise serve to test and ultimately strengthen the family unit. The rivalry between Jack Chester and the wealthy yacht owner Al adds a layer of class commentary to the film. Al is portrayed as the epitome of elitism and arrogance, and his disdain for Jack is based on Jack's working-class background and lack of sophistication. The narrative structure follows a predictable arc of family misadventures that ultimately lead to reconciliation and personal triumph. This structure, common in 1980s comedies, focuses more on the journey and the humor derived from the mishaps, rather than an intricate plot or profound character development. It's a simple, feel-good story that prioritizes laughs over complexity. Now for a little trivial trivia. The inspiration for the film came from an event where producer Bernie Brillstein rented a beach house, and his guest, John Belushi, invited people over who caused havoc to the premises. Summer Rental was produced by George Shapiro. It was filmed in locations at Atlanta, Georgia, and St. Petersburg, Florida. The cinematography was captured by Rick Waite, whose filmography includes action comedy 48 Hours, musical drama Footloose, dystopian war film Red Dawn, teen comedy Adventures in Babysitting, and won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Cinematography in Entertainment Programming for a series of Captains and the Kings. It was edited by Bud Molen, who worked on crime drama sequel They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, rom-com The One and Only, parody thriller Fatal Instinct, and episodes of sitcoms The Dick Van Dyke Show, I Love Lucy, and Secret Agent Adventure, I Spy. The score was composed by Alan Silvestri, who wrote the music for time travel adventure Back to the Future, action sci-fi Predator, animation live-action hybrid Who Framed Roger Rabbit, comedy Soap Dish, and episodes of crime drama Chips. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Music, Original Score of Forrest Gump, and Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures, Original Song in the Polar Express. The closing credits feature the song Turn Around by Jimmy Buffett. The soundtrack is the only official release of the song, and it's never appeared on any of his albums, nor has it ever been played live in concert. The runtime is 1 hour 27 minutes. It had a budget of $11 million and grossed $24 million at the box office. On the Ski Index, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's a borderline cult classic. If you've seen Summer Rental and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattForgotThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post throwback clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Forgot That Playback. Double Dare was a popular Nickelodeon game show that originally aired from 1986 to 1993 and had several revivals and spin-offs. There were 2 teams of 2 contestants, typically kids, who competed in each episode. Teams had to answer multiple-choice trivia questions for points. Correct answers allowed them to earn cash or valuable prizes. If a team failed to answer a question, they could dare their opponents to answer or accept a double dare. If they choose double dare, the opposing team had to either answer the question correctly or complete a messy physical challenge, usually involving slime, obstacles, or some kind of goo. The winning team would go on to the final round, the double dare obstacle course, a messy, timed course filled with slippery and slimy challenges. If the team completed the obstacle course, they would win a variety of prizes, anything from Bugle Boy jeans to a trip to Universal Studios Florida. The show's most memorable feature was the iconic slime that would be poured onto contestants during challenges. The combination of trivia and outrageous physical challenges, along with the energetic atmosphere, made it a favorite among kids. It was hosted by Mark Summers, who was a big part of the show's success. His energetic and approachable personality made him a beloved figure among viewers. The mix of brain power and brawn kept the show dynamic. Contestants could show off their knowledge, but also get messy and have fun with the challenges that were often ridiculous. The game was designed to be messy and over the top as possible. Kids loved watching the chaos unfold as contestants slipped through obstacles, got slimed, and made a mess of everything. Overall, Double Dare was a hit for Nickelodeon, blending education with fun, physical activity, and mess, creating a nostalgic and unforgettable experience for many fans. A perfect embodiment of that ethos, and its success helped define the channel's overall tone during the 1980s and 90s. I've selected a couple of clips from the series. They're all available in the Matt Forgot That Playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Coach. It tells the story of Hayden Fox, a humorous and somewhat outdated head coach of a small college football team, the Minnesota State University Screaming Eagles. While Hayden is a seasoned coach with decades of experience, he's often caught in the humorous clash between his old-school methods and the evolving world around him. The show primarily focuses on Hayden's interaction with his team, his assistant coach Luther, special teams coach Dauber, and his personal life, especially with his girlfriend Christine Armstrong. Later seasons also delve into his relationship with his adult daughter, Kelly, and his humorous attempts to juggle his coaching duties with his family life. It stars Craig T. Nelson, Shelley Fabre, Jerry Van Dyke, Bill Fagerbacke, and Kenneth Kimmins. It also features Claire Carey, Katherine Helmond, Chris Cam, and Georgia Engel. There were cameo appearances by famous sports figures of the time, Troy Aikman, Dick Butkus, Mike Ditka, Frank Gifford, and Jerry Jones. It was created by Barry Kemp, best known for his work on Newhart and Taxi. He also produced Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion and Catch Me If You Can. Coach is known for its mix of slapstick humor and heartfelt moments. Hayden's bumbling nature contrasts with his underlying genuine care for his players and loved ones. The show taps into sports culture, offering a mix of locker room banter, coaching strategies, and comedic scenarios, all while addressing themes of personal growth, leadership, and family dynamics. The show was successful during its run, beloved for its quirky humor, character-driven plots, and the charismatic performances of its cast, especially Craig T. Nelson in the lead role. Coach was on for 9 seasons, 200 episodes from 1989 to 1997. I've just started to rewatch the series recently because I came across a clip on social media of a blooper from the series, and it was very funny and just reminded me of how good the show was. So between everything else that I'm binge watching, I'll throw on an episode of Coach, and it's always good for a laugh or two. A couple of notes on the cast. This was a comeback role for Shelley Fabre. She was on the sitcom The Donna Reed Show from 1958 to 1963, and she also had a hit single, Johnny Angel, which reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1962. Jerry Van Dyke is a successful character actor, stand-up comedian, and theater star. He made his acting debut on his brother's television series, The Dick Van Dyke Show. And last, Bill Fagerbakke is probably best well known as the voice of Patrick Star in the SpongeBob SquarePants franchise. That's all for this edition of Matt Forgot That. Thanks for listening to me reminisce. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the rewatch and review. The cinematography was captured by Rick Waite, whose filmography includes action comedy 48 Hours, musical drama Footloose, dystopian war film Dread Drawn,